Picture a truck. Now picture another truck. Same job, same planet, completely different species. If you're in America, you probably imagine a long chrome nose stretching out like a mechanical crocodile, huge hood, giant exhaust pipes, a cabin big enough to host Thanksgiving dinner. But in Europe, the truck looks like someone chopped its nose off, flat front, compact body, almost like it ran into a wall, and decided to keep that shape. So what happened? Why did two continents solving the exact same problem end up with trucks that look like they evolved on different planets? Is it style, culture, or something much more boring and much more powerful? Hi, welcome to Why Explained. Today, we're uncovering why American and European trucks are so different, and why neither design is an accident. At first glance, the answer seems obvious. Americans just like things bigger. And sure, America does love big. Big highways, big burgers, big pickup trucks that barely fit in parking spaces. So maybe the long nose is just a style choice? A cultural thing? A design flex? And on the other side, maybe Europe prefers compact efficiency. Smaller cars, tighter cities, practical engineering. That explanation feels comfortable, but it's also wrong. Because truck design isn't about fashion. It's about math. Very specific math. And that math was written by politicians. To understand why American trucks grew long noses, while European trucks flattened theirs, we need to talk about something that sounds incredibly boring, but changed everything. Vehicle length laws. And once those rules changed, engineers had no choice but to redesign the entire truck. Let's rewind to the early 1980s. Before that, American trucks actually looked a lot like European ones. They were called cabovers, meaning the driver literally sat over the engine. Flat front, compact shape, efficient. Why? Because there was a strict limit on the total length of the vehicle. Tractor plus trailer. If you made the cabin longer, you had to make the trailer shorter, and a shorter trailer means less cargo. Less cargo means less money. Simple, but in 1982, the United States passed something called the Surface Transportation Assistance Act, and this law quietly changed everything. Instead of limiting the total truck length, it said, we only care how long the trailer is. That's it. That one change freed manufacturers. Suddenly, the tractor, the front part, could be as long as they wanted. As long as the trailer met federal standards, cargo capacity stayed the same. So engineers moved the engine forward. They stretched the hood. They created what we now call the conventional long-nose truck. More space, more comfort, same cargo. Meanwhile, Europe did not change its rules. European Union regulations still limit total vehicle length to 18.75 meters for most combinations. That means every extra inch in the cabin directly reduces trailer length. And for logistics companies, losing trailer space is like shrinking your wallet. So European engineers kept the engine under the cab. They flattened the front. They squeezed every centimeter out of the design to maximize cargo. But laws are only half the story. The roads matter too. The United States was largely designed in the automobile era. Wide interstates, long straight highways stretching thousands of miles. A long wheelbase, meaning the distance between front and rear wheels, is fantastic on highways. It provides stability at high speeds. It feels smoother, more planted. But it turns like a cruise ship. Europe's roads? Many were laid out hundreds of years ago. Medieval city centers, narrow roundabouts, tight mountain passes. A long American truck would struggle in a small Italian village before even reaching the bakery. The Cabover design, with wheels positioned closer together, dramatically reduces turning radius. It's built for agility. Then there's the driver experience. In a European Cabover, you sit directly above the engine and front axle. You feel more vibration, but you get excellent forward visibility. Extremely useful in dense city traffic. In an American conventional truck, the engine sits in front of you. That creates a smoother ride and acts as a large crumple zone in high-speed collisions. Safer on highways. More comfortable for long hauls. And American drivers often drive cross-country for weeks. That long nose allows for massive sleeper cabins, mini apartments with beds, refrigerators, sometimes even small kitchens. European routes are typically shorter, so sleeper space is more compact, because space equals money. So no, it's not about taste, it's about law, geography, economics, and physics. But here's where things get interesting. Because this design difference creates trade-offs that most people never think about. Here's the surprising part. Neither design is perfect. And in some situations, each one is slightly wrong. Take fuel efficiency. You might assume the long American nose improves aerodynamics. But for years, cabovers were actually considered more aerodynamic because the air hit a flat surface and flowed cleanly over the top. Then engineers discovered something interesting. With modern curved hoods and airflow shaping, long-nose trucks can be just as efficient, sometimes even better, especially at steady highway speeds. But in tight urban deliveries, the American design becomes awkward. More blind spots, wider turns, harder parking. Now flip it. European cabovers are incredibly maneuverable, perfect for crowded streets. But because the driver sits over the axle, the ride can feel bumpier. And historically, crash protection was more limited, although modern safety engineering has improved that dramatically. And here's another twist. In recent years, European regulations have started allowing slightly longer cabins, specifically to improve aerodynamics and safety. Meaning, Europe is slowly experimenting with slightly longer noses. While at the same time, some American fleets are adopting more compact, aerodynamic designs to reduce fuel costs. The two worlds? They're quietly inching toward each other. Because when fuel prices rise and safety standards tighten, physics starts to matter more than tradition. And suddenly, design becomes less about identity and more about efficiency. Which leads us to the big takeaway. 5. Conclusion, plus CTA 405 to 500. So why are American and European trucks so different? Because of one simple idea. Rules shape design. In the US, lawmakers protected trailer length, so engineers stretched the truck. In Europe, total length stayed limited, so engineers compressed the cabin. Add different road networks, different driving distances, and different economic pressures. And you don't just get two trucks. You get two perfectly logical solutions to two slightly different problems. One is a long-haul cruiser built for endless highways. The other is a compact workhorse designed for ancient streets and tight turns. Neither is better. They're just optimized for their environment. And that's the fascinating part. Technology doesn't evolve in a vacuum. It evolves inside laws, geography, and human needs. Next time you see a big rig on the road, look at its nose. It's not just a design choice. It's a story about politics, physics, and the shape of cities. Science is full of strange little surprises. If questions like this make your brain light up, Why Explained has plenty more waiting for you. Stay curious.